Hello viewers, this is Dr. Aisha Nazuk here with today's lecture on statistics. Today's topic is index number. I would like to request that those of the viewers who are watching this particular video and they haven't explored the other useful videos in the statistics playlist, they can get benefit from the other videos that we are covering on introductory statistics topics. And you can explore those videos on the channel. Okay, so today's topic is index number. I will, for the students of NUST, as we are connected using our learning management system LMS, I will upload a chapter on index number on LMS and Microsoft Teams. So in parallel to this video, you can use that chapter as well. Okay, so what's an index number? It's a number that expresses the relative change in anything. That change could be price, quantity, or value. So these type of concepts or notions, they are so frequently used in the domain of economics that it's very easy to understand for the students of economics that we frequently are interested in analyzing the changes in price, changes in quantity, or changes in value. So actually, what is a difference between an ordinary number and index number? An ordinary number, for example, the number of pages in a book, is simply representing quantity or something. An index number is actually a number that is constructed by using different pieces of information or different variables. For example, if we calculate the multi-dimensional poverty index, it is calculated by using data on multiple domains of poverty, like what is the health status of the person whose poverty is being measured, like what health opportunities are available to him or her, what education opportunities are available to him or her. So we are using multiple type of variable to construct the multi-dimensional poverty index. Some of the index number you will study in the coming lecture and the coming slides as well. So what I'm saying is an ordinary number represents a single quantity, but an index number is actually a holistic number that is calculated by using different domains of data. So let's start with the very simple form of index number, which is the simple index number. So if the index number is used to measure the relative change in just one variable, such as the hourly wages, then we call it a simple index number, right? We just have one random variable. So an example, suppose that the price of wheat per kg was 30 PKR or Pakistani rupee in 2001 and it is 35 PKR in 2017. Like in the year 2001, hypothetically, the price of wheat was 30 rupees per kg, and in 2017, the price of wheat became 35 rupees per kg. Now calculate the index number that shows relative change in the price. So what's a simple index number is you simply divide the new price and we call it P1. So you simply divide the new price by the base year price, that is you divide 35 by 30 into 100 and you get the index number is 116.67. So what's the interpretation? That there is approximately 17%, or if I talk in exact sense, 16.67% increase in the price from the year 2001 to 2017, right? So how am I interpreting that in base year, the index number is always considered as 100. So as compared to 100, now for 2017, the index is 116.67. So therefore, we have a 16.67% increase in the price of wheat. Okay? So next we have simple index number to compare one quantity with another. Currently we were comparing price. Now again we have simple index number, but now we are comparing quantity. So the formula will be same. You will be actually dividing those quantities. So suppose that the total population of city A is 180 million in a given year and 195 million for city B. So if we have to compare the population of the two cities, and if let's say I divide the population of city city A by city B, and I'll get the answer as 92.30. So what does that mean? Population of city A is 7.7% less than the population of city B, right? Like city B is the base here because we are dividing by the population of city B, and as I just told that the base index is always considered 100. So as compared to city B, city A's population is 7.7% less than the population of city B. Okay? So how are index numbers used in economics? So let's give a tribute to the person or the researcher, Italian researcher who proposed the concept of index number was G.R. Cayley in the year 1764. Okay, he was the person who first introduced or proposed the concept of index number. Now in economics, we frequently see consumer price index, which is used to analyze the inflation or the price level changes in different countries. This was introduced in the year 1913, the consumer price index. So for different countries, the basket of goods that is used to calculate the consumer price index is different because, for example, in Pakistan, there may be different type of products or goods that people will be consuming. In another country, maybe let's say USA, different products will be in the basket. So for the case of Pakistan, the CPI or the Consumer Price Index measures the changes in price paid by consumer for a basket of goods and services. So CPI is released on the 1st of every month by Pakistan Bureau of Statistics, right? So CPI is released on monthly basis in Pakistan. The basket comprises of 487 items. So those items, they have been different researchers or the market analysts, they have come up with the list of 487 items which they think a common Pakistani is using. So CPI prices are being collected from 76 markets of 40 cities. So these are just those information that are available on the Pakistan Bureau of Statistics website as well. And this is for the sake of your information or the background of Consumer Price Index. So Pakistan Bureau of Statistics releases data on the following indices: CPI, which is a monthly index number, then wholesale price index, once again monthly, and sensitive price index is on weekly basis. Like on the weekly basis, what are the changes in the prices of those 487 commodities? Okay, so now note that converting the data to index number helps us see the relative change in a quantity or price across two time period or two cross sections, right? So index number that is based on many variables such as CPI is called composite index number because CPI is based on the prices of 487 commodities. So it is based on many variables. That's why we call it composite index number. So consumer price index is a composite index number that is used to monitor the inflation trends in a country. Okay, next we discuss how to choose base year or the reference group. Actually, the base year or the reference group is the one with which we want to compare our new results or the new values. So note that index number is always defined as relative to the base year or reference group. It is imperative that the base year is not an extraordinary group. For example, if the base year is set as a year where the country was facing a massive earthquake, affecting the shortage of eatables, and hence boosting up the prices, then we must not use that year as base year. What am I saying? In simple words, if you just, for the time being, forget this example, just focus on one thing. Base year should be a normal year. Similarly, reference group should be a normal group. Like if we are comparing population of different cities, then the reference group should not be an outlier city whose population is very high, for example, right? So the base year or the reference group should be a normal time period or a normal group with no exceptions, right? For example, we have an example to further, explain the idea just discussed above. Let's say we have data on marks in different semesters, semester 1, 2, 3, 4, and these are the marks of a single student. So, of course, these are the marks, average marks in a semester in a course by a class, not a single student. So, on average, in semester 1, the class scored 87 out of 100 marks. In semester 2, it got 76. In semester 3, it got 78, and so on. So, if you see, other than semester 1, the class performance is somewhat comparable, but semester 1 is exceptionally high as compared to the other semesters. So if we use semester 1 as base period, then we'll keep in mind that the decrease in average should be interpreted with caution because this is not a normal semester. By the way, even those of you who are university students, they can fairly have an idea that in semester 1, usually people are getting themselves used to the new environment and or they may be overly enthusiastic and they will be studying more, and with the passage of time they may start get distracting and other activities in the university. So we should not use semester 1 as a base time period. So let's say we want, instead of using one semester as a base time period, we can actually use the average of these semesters as base. We will discuss that as well shortly. So suppose that we have price data of rice in 1995 and 96, and we wish to use 95 and 96 as reference period, right? Both 95 and 96. So what we will do, we will take the average of 1995 and 1996 data, which is 18 and 21, and that average is 19.5. And now I will be using 19.5 as the base. So similarly, if you want to use the average marks scored in these semesters, you can calculate the average and use that as a base to see that as compared to the average of 4 semesters, what is the performance in semester 1, 2, 3, and 4, right? So you can use average of different years as base. Okay, so next we start unweighted index numbers. Unweighted index number are simple that we are only using the data on price of a commodity and we are not concerned about the quantity consumed, right? For example, if we have this type of a data and we have price data for four different commodities like bread, egg, milk, and apple, we have data for 2005 and we have data for 2016. So simple index is, if we want to treat 2005 as base, so I will divide 2016 by 2005 data and I'll get the simple index number. And these are also called price relatives, right? So there's two different methods to calculate the unweighted index number. One is to calculate simple average of price relative. That's price relative we have just calculated. We find the average of this column and it comes out to be 141.45. So this means that the overall the price of the set of good has increased by 41.45 from the base period. That is, overall in 2016 the price has increased by 41.45% as compared to 2005. So this is the method simple average of price relative. Now you are strongly advised to explore the shortcomings and advantages of this method on the chapter that I have uploaded on LMS. Next is simple aggregate index method. In this method, we just add the prices and take the ratio. That is, sum of prices in a year divided by sum of prices in the base year. Like if I have to apply this formula here, I will simply add 2016 prices and I will divide by the sum of prices for 2005. And that's how I will get simple aggregate index. So these are just the formulas. To understand their advantages and disadvantages, once again I am requesting go and explore the chapter uploaded on LMS. So next we have weighted index number. In weighted index number, not only we use the data of price, we also use the data of quantity. So there were different statisticians who proposed weighted index number. The first one was Lesper. So Lesper index number is this formula that we take the prices of current year. PT means prices of current year. Q naught means quantity in the base year. And then we divide by P naught Q naught, that is price in the base year and quantity in the base year. So if we have this type of a data of four different commodities, their prices and the quantity consumed is given for 1990 and for 2000. So what we are going to do for the base year, we will call price as P naught, quantity as Q naught. For the next year, we will call price as PT and quantity as QT. And by simply using this formula, PT Q naught means this column PT multiplied by this column Q naught. So these calculations are shown here. So PT Q naught is simply 7 into 15 plus 27 into 18 and so on. Similarly, you can see P naught Q naught, which is this column price multiplied by this column quantity Q naught. So now you see that in the base year, we are using quantity of the base year. Like the Lesper formula, it is using the quantity and the price of base year. So that means that we are giving more weight to the data of base year. So this is the formula for Lesper index, right? Now if we have to apply the formula of Cauchy's index, this is different. Now we are giving weight according to, like the quantities are taken according to the current year, right? If you just compare these two formulas, the Lesper index, you see what is the role of this Q? This is actually a weight, like the quantity, the product that are used more should be given more weight. That's why we have used quantity data. So Q naught is the weight taken from the base year. But once we apply the Paasche formula, we use the quantity data from the current year. So if we apply Paasche index, of course, the answer will be different, because in this particular scenario, we'll be giving weight to the data of current year. So you are advised to calculate Paasche index for the above data. The next we have Fisher index, and we often call it Fisher ideal index. That is simple, that you multiply the Lespier and Paasche index and then take the square root. So this way you are giving weight both to the base year quantity and to the current year quantity, because as I just said, Lespier uses weight according to base year, Paasche uses base according to the current year. Okay, so just calculate Paasche and Fisher index for the above data. Then a special use of consumer price index is the real income, which is simply money income divided by consumer price index. That is just a side note, just for those students who are in the economics domain, that how index number is frequently used in the domain or the arguments often discussed in economics. So with this, I end today's video lecture, and to those viewers who are just watching the video and they are not students, I will mention my email address in the comment section, and you can always reach me out if you have any queries and you want to have additional notes related to the course. So thank you, and keep watching all the videos, keep studying in time. Best of luck.